guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing the first Shop My Stash of 2022 for January. If you guys are not familiar with these videos on my channel or just in general, basically what a Shop My Stash is on my channel is I go through my makeup collection with you guys and I pick out products from each category that I would like to use that month. The reason that I do these is because it helps me to rotate through all of my makeup and make sure that stuff isn't getting pushed back in drawers. It also helps me go through makeup and see if I want to get rid of it, if I like it as much as I used to, especially now that I'm older and my skin is changing. My skin has changed so much in the past 2 years and my preference of makeup has changed so much in the past 2 years. If you guys have watched these videos from me before in the past, I did do the picking out the makeup part with you guys first, and then I would sit down and do like a chit chat, get ready with me, life update kind of thing. I've decided for the time being that I want to go ahead and split those two segments up into two separate videos. The reason that I want to do that is because I feel like if I can dedicate the whole video to talking about products to you guys, update you guys on current favorites, products that I'm not liking anymore, test so much new makeup all the time, rarely do I get to use makeup that's in my collection that I've had for a while. I'm not saying that the get ready with me's will be done every month, but I'll just use those as like life updates, probably using my current favorite products in that video. If that sounds like something that interests you, then make sure to keep on watching. But before you go any further, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel every 4 days, so you never have to miss me for too long. Let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, so we're starting off with an empty drawer. There's a couple little miscellaneous things that I'll point out to you guys. This I kept in here from last month, or my last Shop My Stash. This is the KARITY, the Contour Kit 2nd edition. Did not get to use this as much as I wanted to. As always, back here I have my hue shifters, and then I actually went ahead and added this in here to stay in the drawer all the time. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I love using this underneath makeup, especially when I'm using more matte foundations. It just gives a really nice healthy glow to the skin. A lot of these drawers are overcrowded, so not only am I going to be picking makeup with you guys, but I'm also kind of trying to do a little bit of organizing, make it not look such a hot mess. And I know that once I take some of the products out, it'll obviously look less cluttered. This drawer over here is my drugstore makeup, and then this drawer over here is high-end makeup. So we're just gonna go ahead and start top to bottom. If you've never watched my videos before, the drawers are sorted in the order that I do my makeup. So primer, foundation, concealer, powder, cheek products, lip products, eye products. On the top of my vanity, I keep my setting sprays. I don't wanna be super repetitive, but a lot of the makeup in this video is going to be from Full Face of First Impressions that were at the end of last year. In November and December, I really went through and did a bunch of decluttering, just getting rid of products that I didn't like, and also trying to figure out what I wanted to put in my Best of Beauty. In my most recent video, this is the MILANI Aqua Bloom Water Cream. I absolutely love all of the primers that I have tried from Milani. Anything that says like water cream, gel moisturizer, I will try. That's the only one that I want to try from the drugstore, but I know I do have a couple high-end ones. Pulled this one first because I think that I can actually empty it out. HOURGLASS Mineral Veil Primer. And this is a mini version of it. It was okay. It's not anything that's super spectacular. It is a lotion texture, so I'm not crazy about it. I prefer more like gel, water-based products because my skin is oilier. I feel like water-based and gel-based products have a little bit of an easier time actually absorbing into the skin. I'm pulling this product for the same reason. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. With my high-end products, I probably will keep them and try to empty them out if I'm not the biggest fan of them, because high-end products are so expensive. I don't just want to throw away makeup and I can't return it. All 4 of these primers are getting put in the drawer for the same reason. They were used in Full Face of First Impressions. I liked them, but I just have only used them once or twice. SMASHBOX Photo Finish Primerizer, and this is a mini, by the way. Let me say that for the longest time, I did not believe in SMASHBOX primers because they're probably one of the most expensive on the high-end side of things, but every primer that I have tried from them, I have been so impressed with. If you guys have never watched any of my videos, I do use a hydrating primer and a blurring / mattifying primer. Also another mini, this is the SMASHBOX Photo Finish Oil and Control Primer. This was also in my last video. SHISEIDO Synchro Skin Soft Blurring Primer. Lastly, the POREFESSIONAL Matte Rescue. This is more of a gel-based primer. I do love the POREFESSIONAL, but I was really shocked because the textures were so different. I was just assuming that they would be similar textures, and it has a really nice cooling feeling on the skin as well. On top of my high-end drawer, I have all of my eyeshadow palettes. I got those metal bins from Target and they have been perfect for storing my eyeshadow. And then on top of my other drawer, that is all Full Face of First Impressions makeup that needs to be tested. We can go ahead and do eye primer. Sephora Beauty Amplifier eyeshadow primer. The packaging of this reminds me a lot of the NYX Proof It eyeshadow primer. 2 drugstore primers that I want to use. NYX Ultimate Shadow and Liner Primer, color medium deep. The reason I'm using this is because I actually already have 2 NYX eyeshadow primers that I really like, and I honestly was not super impressed with this the first time that I used it. I like to keep at least one thing from a category from a brand, but if I find something that I like better, then I'm not going to recommend it to you guys. I have not used this in ages. This is the Morphe eyelid primer in the color Translucent. Next is foundation, and let me just warn you that my drugstore drawer looks a lot better than my high-end one does. These are the ones that I have for the drugstore. e.l.f. Flawless Finish foundation, and I have this in the color Cinnamon. I have the e.l.f. CC cream that I really like, so if I feel like the CC cream has better coverage than this and wear, then I'm just gonna get rid of this. I haven't used this foundation since my very first one brand tutorial of e.l.f. makeup, and that's when I lived with my parents, so at least 6 months. This foundation I really actually have liked every time that I've tried it. NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant foundation, and I have this one in the color Cappuccino. I actually did not like the concealer from this line. When I think of when I first started doing makeup, this is the foundation that I think of. Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in the color 340 Cappuccino. I'm gonna mention these two together because they're both from MILANI. This first one on the left is the MILANI Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer, and I have this in the color 13 Chestnut. The MILANI Cream to Powder foundation in the color 280 Spiced Almond. This is supposed to be a dupe for the KVD Good Apple foundation. I want to see if I like one better than the other or if I like both of them. Lastly, this was in my latest video. This is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum, and I'm in the color 78 Tan Deep. I have really thought about using this as almost what I used for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood FILT'R for, just a really nice glowy primer. This actually did not have bad coverage on its own at all. It gives the prettiest glow to the skin, and the wear on it actually is not bad. Again, I'm only saying this from what I have used it the one time that I have. This drawer, not bad. These two drawers are a different story. So I have a lot of high-end foundation. This is actually concealer, but I went ahead and put foundation down here because there's just no way that I can fit all of it in this one drawer. I think I'm just gonna pull these two because I really don't have much room for anything else. Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation, and I have this in the color 130 Dark. Tarte Face Tape foundation, and I have this in the color Deep Sand. So I actually have already done reviews on these two foundations. You guys have just not seen them yet. That was pre-filmed. I'm not gonna say too much. That way you guys can go watch that video. Before I do regular concealer, I wanna go ahead and do pot concealer. I only have two in my last video. This is the Dermablend Cover Cream in the color Hazelnut Beige 45W. For a while, I told you guys that I wanted to recommend this to you guys because it is more of a thick consistency, which is what I like to use to carve my brows out for, which is what I use pot concealer for. L'Oreal True Match Crayon Corrector, and I have this in the color W678. I really loved this combo right here, the Dermablend CC Cream and the Pat McGrath Sublime Skin Foundation. I love using this to mix with other foundations because it is a little bit too light for me, but it has really good coverage. I have this in the color 50N. I need to get 60N next time. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Pat McGrath Labs Tube. Something like that is so expensive to where use it on its own and like it. You guys see my arms, don't worry, I'm fine. I have these pin markings on my arms because I started donating plasma, and the lady gave me 2 hematomas on both of my arms. It's just bruising. While going through the drawer, I decided that I'm going to use these 3, specifically this one this month as well. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Matte Foundation in the color Chestnut. I need to use this up because I already know that I like the natural one more. The first time I used the Shiseido line, which is in a full face of first impressions, I was very impressed with everything. So I do want to go ahead and try this foundation again. SYNCHRO Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation, and I have this in the color 430 Cedar. Now we can do concealer. These are all of my concealers for the month, drugstore and high-end. Go ahead and start with this one because this was in my latest video. This is the Dermablend Cover Care Full Coverage Concealer in the color 50W. I actually really like this. Now this is like my perfect skin tone shade. What I've been loving to do recently is use a concealer that is more towards my skin tone, blending that out and then putting something more brightening on top of it, because I found that if I go too light immediately, it kind of gets like a grayish type of look because it lightens underneath the eyes, but it doesn't conceal the blue veins. This is the perfect example of a concealer that's just just a little bit too light for me on its own. This is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer in the color Flax. For how much I paid for this concealer, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how I feel about it, and I feel like I should be able to. Pat McGrath Skin Finish Sublime Perfector Concealer in the color MD23. I'm sorry, that keeps going out of focus. Also, another Shiseido product that I liked the first time I used it. This is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Concealer. This is 304 medium. This actually has a really unique doe foot applicator on it. It's more of like an hourglass shape. Clinique Even Better All Over Concealer and Eraser, and this is in the color WN100 Deep Honey. Walnut Stay Woke Concealer in the color Brown Sugar T2. This concealer I've had for a very, very long time. It has a really intriguing name. It is the Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum. The reason that I even bought this was because it said gel serum. I have this in the color, for a long time I did not use this because I was like, oh no, this is not brightening enough, but now that I've discovered a new technique, I want to see how this works. I also want to try too in the near future putting a little bit of concealer on underneath my foundation on spots in my face that I'm having a breakout or something when I'm using a more medium coverage foundation. Lastly, I have two drugstore concealers. I actually really liked this concealer the last time I pulled it. Flower Beauty Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer in the color D23 Deep. And then I'm not really super familiar with this one, MILANI Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer in the color 160. So I wanted to try this, and I did pull the foundation that comes from this line as well. I know that my powder drawer on this side needs some serious TLC. I already pulled my powders for the high-end side, but I wanted to go ahead and shout this product out. I'm not going to pull it because I already know that I love it. This is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop mattifying powder. I have not been able to stop using this. This is easily one of my favorite drugstore setting powders. It is so amazing for blurring and smoothing, and it also is good for touch-up. It's not going to be cakey. It gives good coverage. I do have one drugstore pressed powder. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I have this in the color 365 Copper. I think that I just need a different shade in this, honestly, because it does have the slightest bit of a red undertone, but it's nice. I just don't like the color. This is actually a brand that is sold at Sally's Beauty, the supply store. This is the Collab Set the Stage Ultra Fine Loose Setting Powder, and I have this in the color Porcelain Ivory. I think that I need a new shade in this. I for some reason thought that it was going to be translucent. I don't know if it was just the color or what, but if it doesn't have flashback, I probably will use this to just give a little bit of brightness underneath the eyes when I feel like I don't have enough. This is actually, I think, the second translucent setting powder I've tried from the drugstore that does not have flashback, which is important to me, especially since I'm darker. This is the Morphe Bake and Set setting powder in the color translucent, and this does come in multiple shades. I'm going to mention these two at the same time because I'm pulling them for the same reason. This first one is the e.l.f. HD powder in the color Sheer. And then I have this Hard Candy Translucent Sheer Envy Loose Powder. I really was a fan of the blue packaging in this powder when I first tried it. And then I pulled it again for a Shop My Stash, and it left the weirdest marks underneath my eyes. If you actually watch my very first video in the series where I do the testing solely foundations, when I talk about the powder that looks weird underneath my eyes, it's this one in the blue color, so I got rid of it. They look really nice if you're not taking pictures. Now it is time for my more high-end powders, and I want to go ahead and mention these two together because I'm pulling them for the same reason. Pat McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Setting Powder in the color Medium 3. One Size Ultimate Setting Powder, and I have this in the color Translucent. I have tried this so many times, and I have a lot of loose setting powders that are more affordable than this that I think I like better. So I just want to give it one last chance before I determine that this is something that I would not repurchase. And again, with my more high-end products, I will try to empty them out as much as I can before just getting rid of them. This powder I could not stop using when I first bought it. Fenty Beauty Instant Retouch Pro Filter Setting Powder in the color Hazelnut. The component on this is huge. I feel like with a lot of this makeup, I pull it and then I just use it so passively. When I look at it, I'm like, you know, how would I feel about this? How do I rate it? And then I can't say because it's not that I don't use it, it's just that I don't remember what I felt when I used it. I've used this, but I really don't remember how I felt about it. Dragon Beauty Translucent Setting Powder in the color Invisible. This was actually in my drawer from the last Shop My Stash. I guess I never got around to using it. NARS Light Reflecting Setting Powder in the color Sunstone. It's not that I didn't use this. I used this underneath my eyes and it was too dark, so I needed to use it all over my face, which is what I need to do. I have 3 pressed powders. This is the most recent one that I used in my last video. Huda Beauty Glowish Luminous Pressed Powder in the color 8 tan. I have never felt so torn by a product. When I first used this in my video, I absolutely hated it. It didn't give much coverage on the cheeks, and then when I got to my forehead, it literally looked like I used highlighter on my face. But then as I wore it throughout the night, it actually looked really, really pretty on my cheeks. Like, it did not have a super highlighted look. I'm not nuts about this for the forehead because I just feel like my forehead is already big enough. So when I have that shine, not a glow, but when I have shine, it just makes it look even bigger. So I want to go ahead and use this on my cheeks because I feel like this would be awesome for when I'm using more soft matte foundations. My cheeks are normal. The product usually never breaks down on my cheeks. There's a difference between like glow and shine to me. Shine looks like you've been wearing your makeup all day. It's just ready to come off. Glow is like she looks healthy and the skin looks healthy. I'm gonna mention these two together because I'm pulling them for the same reason. Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Airbrush Perfecting Powder, and I have this in the color Rich. Pure Press Powder, and this is in the color Golden Dark GG3. Again, I use these both at the end of the year in a full face of first impression, so I wasn't able to use them but more than once. Two more loose powders. I have this one, which I also used in my last video. This is the Lawless Seal the Deal Loose Setting Powder. This is a mini version of it, and it's in the color Classic Translucent. This is the closest thing first impression that I have tried to the Laura Mercier Loose Setting Powder. I used this with the Dermablend Concealer. I don't know if those two just really liked each other or what, but this was so filtering and smoothing, and it actually was translucent. This is from Shiseido. This is the Synchro Skin Invisible Silk Loose Powder in the color Radiant, a more high-end version of the Halo Glow Setting Powder. It sets, but it also keeps the skin looking healthy. It doesn't take the dimension away. We are ready for cheek product. Blush, highlighter, bronzer. This is my drugstore drawer. I want to go ahead and shout out this bronzer. It is the only powder formula I have tried that I like. It is not patchy. It is not hard to blend out. Just pigmented enough where it shows up, but it's also very easy to build. This is the Juvia's Place Bronzed Duo in the color Deep Dark. I actually do not use this color down here on my cheeks. I use this as like a crease color when I'm doing eyeshadow. This color right here is like my perfect bronzer shade. Elf Putty Blushes. I have the colors Bali and Caribbean. I really like these colors. I really do, guys. Like, they're so beautiful, and I love the fact that they come in so many shades. But the past couple times that I've been using these along with the bronzers, which I'm going to mention, they have been pulling the makeup off from underneath. So I don't know if it's because I'm using a brush, if I'm using a sponge, if they don't like natural finish foundations, if they don't like matte finish foundations. So I need to figure that out. Very back and forth on if I want to keep this palette or not. Elf Cream Contour Palette. I like it and it's a good formula, but I don't know if these shades are dark enough for me. It's been very hit or miss. When I tried this, I had a tan. Right now, I'm probably the lightest that I'll be since it's the winter time. So I want to see if I can make this work, and if not, give it to a good home because the formula is actually really good on this. Next, I've got 3 cream contours. Again, I already mentioned this one. This is the Elf Putty Bronzer, and I have this in the color Bronzed Belle. Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the color C18. This has really good pigment, but it dries down so fast that it's really hard to blend because it dries down so fast. The way I talk about some of these products, it's like, why am I even giving them a second chance? But I am a believer in redemption. I honestly don't remember what kind of finish this has or if I like it, what kind of pigmentation it has. NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer, and I have this in the color Espresso. This drawer definitely needs a little bit more TLC than the other one. We'll do highlighters first because I only have 2. The first one is this Natasha Denona Nude I Need a Glow highlighter. This is so beautiful, guys. Such a good everyday go-to shade. I actually love all the highlighters that I have. This one is newer, and I was also a very big fan of this when I tried it. Rare Beauty Liquid Luminizer in the color Flaunt. I used this in my last video and I was so impressed. I usually am pretty turned off by liquid highlighter. I don't know, it's just not my thing. I can get into liquid blush and I can get into liquid bronzer, but highlighter I was like, But Rare Beauty, I'm telling you, was probably the brand I liked the most stuff from in 2021 as far as new products. Next is bronzer, so we'll go ahead and start with the powder first. Benefit Hoola Toasted Bronzer. This is actually the very first high-end bronzer that I ever bought. I'm glad that I mentioned the Juvia's Place to you guys because I love that one so much that if I don't like this Hoola one as much, I'm going to try to put a dent in it or see if I can find a new home for it. This product I've only had the opportunity to try once, but I was very impressed when I tried it. Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Bronzer in Hazelnut. The color is absolutely perfect and you get so much product. More small independent brand, the BFF Pink Honey Bronzing Face Frosting, and this is in the color Peanut Butter. You get so much product. The component is so cute. I just want to make sure that I like the formula. Probably my best TJ Maxx find ever. This is the Milk Makeup Matte bronzer, and I have this in the color Blaze. Next, we have some high-end blushes, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about these two first because they were both in my most recent video. Huda Beauty Glowish Cheeky Vegan Blush Powder in the color 3 Berry Juicy. In my last video, it was so beautiful. If you can tell, I love products like this that claim to be glowy because they don't have straight up glitter in them. Very finely milled specks that it just looks like your skin. It doesn't accentuate your texture or anything like that, which is something that I found with glitter heavy highlighters and just glitter heavy products in general. Not very happy with this product when I used it in my last video, but I really don't think it was the product's fault. This is the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush in the color Love. I put this on top of loose powder. I should not have done that. I should have put it on top of my foundation. One of the very first black owned products I bought. This is the Mented Cosmetic. This is in the color Buried Away. This is what it looks like. It's a very beautiful color. I don't have anything like it. I've only used this product once. Blush Duo in the color One Sweet Pea. Love this combo. I think it's so awesome, and they have a lot of different colors. I have a lot of these MAC lipsticks that I never get to use. I went ahead and pulled the colors Paramount, Hug Me, and this purple one, Bated Breath. I never wear this color. This is the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the color So 90s. Just another favorite. This is the Glossier Mint Balm.com in the scent Mint. I love this for lip prep. Another favorite, this is the Jaclyn Cosmetics lip liner, and this one I have in the color Toasty. This is the perfect neutral brown shade. Pulled two drugstore lip products. I'm pretty familiar with all the lip products that I have in my collection right now, but these two are the newest. Sharon C Shine Gloss Color Edible. I used this in my last video. Also, I've only used this once, but I loved it when I used it. Maybelline Ultimate Matte Lipstick, and this is in the color More Truffle. One last drawer, and that would be eyes. Single eyeshadows, pomades, eyeliners, brow pencils. He thinks that he has to help me with everything. I'm okay. I can handle it. Thanks, though. Hourglass Scattered Light Eyeshadow, and this is in the color Burnish. It is the prettiest color. I just want to show you guys. Gorgeous when I used it in my video. This is probably one of the oldest products in my collection. The BH Dip Brow in the color Ebony. Been using this for forever. Pro tip, if you guys have pomades like this that you've been holding on to for a while, if they start to get a little dried out, just spray a little bit of setting spray in them, and they're like brand new. I got two eyeliners. These are the newest in my collection. The Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Liner. One size point made 24-hour liquid eyeliner pen. I prefer pens over wands because I have eyelash extensions, so I found that it's a little bit easier and less messy to use pens over a wand component. Benefit Bad Gal Bang Mascara. This is one of my favorite for the lower lashes. This isn't super new, but it's also not old in my collection. This is the Matte Eye Kohl in the color Teddy, and I want to go ahead and swatch this for you guys because it has such a unique formula. It's a brown, but it's like kind of monochromatic. Can you guys see that? It is so beautiful on the eyes. I do not have anything like this, which is why I love it so much. We are moving on to the last drawer before the organization begins. The reason I'm pulling these two is because they're the least creamy, and they're okay, but I wouldn't go out of my way to purchase them again because I have others that are cheaper and better. Cara Beauty Brow Pomade, and I have this in the color Ebony. Makeup Revolution Brow Pomade in the color Dark Brown. Brow pencils, and again, I like all of these. I would recommend all of these to you guys. CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil, and I have this one in the color Dark Brown. Morphe Micro Brow Pencil, and this is in the color Java. I really like this product, but this is new. I've only used it once, but I liked it the first time I used it. Milani Precision Brow Pencil in the color 150 Ebony, but I actually was really impressed with this when I used it. None of these mascaras are new. You guys have seen all these on my channel. NYX Worth the Hype Mascara, Milani Highly Rated Mascara, e.l.f. Lash It Out Loud Mascara. I do only use mascara on the bottom lashes because I do have lash extensions. I actually almost got rid of this and then I didn't because it's just, with this, it depends on the tool that you use, but I want to try to do like a smoky liner with this because it is gel formula, so it doesn't completely dry down, meaning that you can blend it out. This next product I'm actually thinking about emptying out. NYX Epic Wear Liner. I used to swear by these guys, like swear by them. I thought they were the best thing around, and then I started using other things. The formula on these is so waxy. I actually got rid of the white one because I hated it, but this brown one isn't bad. I've never compared it eye by eye with some of the other eyeliners that I like this Morphe eye pencil in the color Dimmer, Neutrogena Precision Liquid Eyeliner. Every time I have tried this, I have liked it. It is very, very black, very pointy. This is the mess that we're left with. Nowhere near empty. So I'm gonna go ahead, set you guys back, put you on a time lapse, give you a little relaxing view of what is going on. I'm all done. So this is what the drawers look like. Just a quick little overview. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.